Morning, guys. Hope everyone is doing okay. It is the 25th of May. And just in case anybody doesn't know, there's only a few anyway, so you all know what we're trading now. Market did open there and it gapped up, but that dropped straight away and fell that gap. So we seem to have a little bit of sideways, but it looks to me like we may have a bit of a spiking channel going there. If we, I did have it from the bottom, but it fits a lot nicer. It fits perfect on the top, and if we started from here, we touched here. So, but we have got a channel coming down here, so I'm aware that it may just be a range, and it may just be a bit of a breakout of a range. So it looks like we're pushing down anyway, so we'll see what happens. Any major news we've had is over and done with. Was around about here, nothing really, I don't think. Some medium impact news, 3 o'clock UK time, but it doesn't seem to play much of a difference. So let's have a look. Who we got in this morning? JJ Productions, how you doing, buddy? Grill Daddy, good morning. Indy, how you doing, mate? Jay, how are you? Happy Thursday. The days just fly, don't they? 1 minute it's Monday, next minute it's the end of the week. So nice solid day yesterday. One trade pre-market. So I had to pick my daughter up early today, so I haven't really had a chance to look at the market so much. Certainly to do anything pre-market. Let's have a look. We push down. I don't know whether you'd have took that one or not. Probably not. Maybe the higher low there. Maybe the higher low. It almost looks like there's a hidden second entry along there. Nice big bullish bar in it, and it came up. Another second entry along there, but a bit too far away from the EMA, but you'd have got a couple of points out of it. So I do wonder if this has a break and we have a bigger channel and we end up moving up a bit today. It would be nice. So let's see what happens. Market's due to open in 1 minute. Let's see how we get on today. So short-term trend channel down there, small break. Now we're going to come back in, and is this going to range for a while, or are we going to start to move up? It'd be nice to have it. We had that nice little downtrend yesterday, but it's much nicer, I personally think, trading the trends, because you know what you're looking for. You know you're looking for shorts. You know when it's sort of bouncing all over the place. It's just hard to trade really, but when we're getting a trend, it's pretty straightforward. We're looking for, second entries or failures or lower highs off the EMA, and it's pretty straightforward. EMA, key entry point. Okay, so that is sort of, there's a first entry, there is a second entry. The trouble is we're below the EMA there, and we got this little down channel, so it may well break above it and come back down, retest the top of this if it all this is any type of a range. I'm not massively convinced what's going on at the moment. It might just be a bit of a breakout. But we've opened, we gapped up, and then we filled it, and then we had sort of two legs down, and ever since about 8:30, 9 UK time, we've been slowly working up. So there's our break. Yes, if you'd have gone long there, you might be in a bit of trouble here, but it's definitely using that line. We've touched it here, we've touched it a couple of times here, we've touched it here, we've touched it here, we've touched it there, so we can break below it and then maybe get a higher low. Then maybe I'm thinking about long. How you doing, Sam? I've already said hello to Sam. No, I haven't. How you doing, Sam? So yeah, so all good. So I did pick up an extra couple of evaluations today. Last night actually. While they're cheap, they do go up again on 1st of the month. It's about a week, just under a week, I think. So, Speedy, how you doing, mate? Anybody done anything? Did somebody who in there early morning? What was that? Who in here early morning? Oh, hello. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Market is officially open. So, so pushing down. So maybe this is just sideways, and we sort of had a couple of breaks, and then it pulled back in. But that's nice little move there. Nice 10-point move if you can get hold of it, or a little bit more. So let's see how we get on today. Rodian, how you doing, buddy? Aye. Let's have a look if there's anything. I do wonder if there's a bigger picture going on there. Not a fan of these shallow trends, really. I like them to be clearly a little bit clear. What is going on? Maybe that is a trend and this is just a break. I'm not really so sure yet. It's possible. There actually is some congestion along there. You can see some support there, congestion here, some support and resistance, which is slowing that down there, I think. Which panded down 2 grand. Not already. Not this morning. Surely not. You went short at 41.50. You did. Short here. He did. Oh, you did. I see what you mean. Plus, look. Yeah, short here. I mean, it might still go down. It's congested. It was congested here and here and here, so maybe it may go down. I'm not really sure what's going on at the moment. He's had 2 rough days, Panda, hasn't he? He was down at $2,500 one point yesterday, and then I think he ended up 600 or 700 in the red, I think. I do feel a bit sorry for him. I was just having a browse, seeing how he was getting on yesterday, and he did cop a bit of stick on the in the chat. There was a couple of mean comments. I'm not a fan of stuff like that. If you don't like what he does or you don't want to watch him, just don't watch him. But some of the mean, nasty stuff, it's a bit... I felt a bit sorry for him. I don't like to see anybody get that sort of grief. You're done for the day, are you? Good on you, mate. Well done. Nice if you can do it. I don't know what it's like where you are, but the sun is shining outside. Beautiful here again in the UK. We've been really spoilt. And I think we've got it for another week or so, as far as I know. It is much nicer. I've got to say, it's nice to come out of winter and move into the summer or spring or whatever you call it. Life, mate, life worth living. I gotta say. I gotta say, trading full time as well. Oh, it's lovely. 3 hours a day. It's lovely. Okay, so maybe there's something bigger working here. I don't know. Let's have a look, see where that finishes there. It's not very clear, is it? There is a relatively bearish bar there, so perhaps that might... I don't know, it might be a leg and a leg. I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Maybe, possibly. It has pushed down anyway, so if you... It might be a channel, actually, because a lot of times it'll push down there and it'll go sideways until it gets to this side. It's possible. Does look like it's coming down the bottom here, doesn't it? So if you went short there, who said they went short there? It actually worked out okay, I think. Depending on where you got short, was it 50 here? So you might have been right there. You might be okay. Does seem like a channel, doesn't it? I'd prefer it a little bit tighter to there, but hey Kay, how you doing? Yeah, there was nothing I could really see down there. It does look like a channel. Anybody trade after the news, did they, yesterday? I didn't even have a look what went on. I mean, we had this, didn't we? I can't remember where we finished. Was it around about here somewhere? So the news, maybe, could the news cause that? I don't know. I can't see anything really. Nothing spiky, so perhaps where was the news around about here? Oh, so nothing really. So Panda's down $2,000. Is that just today, Sam, is it? I don't like seeing anybody doing bad, I got to say. It's not nice when you're in it. Oh, crikey, he is, isn't he? Down $2,500 already. He's only been trading 10 minutes, hasn't he? Oh, dear. Yeah, he's down $5,500 on his PA account. Oh, dear. Okie dokie. What's going on here? It does look to me like a channel. I don't know about you guys, but it looks like a channel to me. Touch there, touch there. In fact, you could probably even move that a touch higher. Let's have a look. I don't know whether it is or not, whether you think it is. Maybe a second entry short further. I think I'd rather wait for the lower high, really. But we are getting to these lows. Sad, we've all been there. Yeah, he just seems to have slipped into some real bad habits, I think, doesn't he? In fact, let's move that up there. If we're going to touch there, perfectly touch there and touch there. I like Panda. He's turned me on to Pats indirectly, but it's tough watching him. Yeah, I mean, we've all been on tilt, haven't we? It is a shame. I don't like seeing anybody going through a hard time. Because it is tough at times, and you do feel it's a pretty lonely old business when you're struggling, isn't it? And we've all been through it. I've had my fair share of ups and downs. But yeah, it is a shame. He's a nice enough chap, isn't he? Okay, so I think I'm going to wait for it to continue down a little bit there. There is a second entry short there. It's also try go low, one struggle with ties, possible failure. I think it's coming down by the looks of things. Just a little bit nervous about that. I think I'd rather wait for the lower high. I just don't like the way the fist pushed up and there's a bit of a wick there, and it is a little bit congested there. I mean, it looks like a channel to me, the way it's come back there. In fact, you could probably, it's going to stop that out by the looks of things anyway. Yeah. frustratingly. It was a second entry short, but the bar isn't brilliant. It's clearly a bit congested, so may still come down. But it just looked, it's got alarm bells all over it, to be fair. So now, what are we doing? Are we still going to come down? Maybe. So triangular once, triangular twice, failure triggered. So maybe some longs there. See if it still goes up. Messy, isn't it? I'm not even really convinced that is a channel. It sort of fits here and fits here okay, and it's touches. I don't know. See, I prefer to sort of maybe come from here somewhere. Maybe think like a spike and maybe a 2T channel. I don't know. I'm not convinced of anything at the moment. Okay, so we haven't come to these lows, so it may be a bigger channel. This might just be a couple of pushes up. Let's put it back just in case. Let's take it from there to there. Let's put it about there. Yeah, it's definitely ranging, no argument with you there. I think that's irrelevant anyway. I'd like to see it. I mean, it could be a couple of legs and then it may come down to the bottoms. We've touched there a couple of times, touch there, touch there, touch there. There's a bunch of touches, so it's clearly sort of that area for now. Whether it'll move up to this or not, I don't know, but do we not? Oh, all right. I see Marco doing it. Do I see Mac doing it? I can't think now. Yeah, Mac does it. He's got wider trend channels on his range days. Yeah, Mac's got him. That's a trending day. What's it day? Look. Ranging day. It's got bigger channels. And he takes them within there as well. I mean, it doesn't get any more rangy than that, does it? He takes them within them, and he does bigger channels as well. So I don't know. Yeah, Mac doesn't know. That was a big channel hit. I just shown you there. That was a big channel. It's about 30, 35 points, this one. That one is as max as well. That's about the same. From the bottom here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. It's about the same. He's got bigger channels. He's got a big one there, big one there. I just got to go with what Mac shows. It's a bigger channel there, and he's trading it as a channel. As a channel. Oh, I'll get rid of that. That's annoying. Get rid of it, get rid of it. I hate it when it pops up above the thing and you can't get rid of it. That's frustrating. Oh, get rid of it. Come on. Friggin' hell, that's going to fry my bloody brain, that is. There we go, sod off. There we go, sorted. Okay, so let's have a look. Maybe this is something bigger cooking here. Okay. Touch, touch, touch. I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I mean, it's clearly ranging, there's no argument there. I'd expect to get down to these bottoms anyway. We didn't do it there. Yeah, it's, you know, sometimes when it just pops above one screen, I just couldn't see it on the other one. I could just manage to see the top of it, so I ended up dragging it down and got rid of it in the end. So we got there in the end. Fortunately enough, otherwise there'd have been another monitor out the window. Trend channel, a bit of an overshoot there and a reversal. Come down 1, 2. I'd expect that. That's a second entry short. Trouble is, there's a lot of support down there. We're ranging clearly. I'd expect it to get down at the bottoms, but it hasn't worked out anyway. I'm not a fan of going short there, really. Sania. Is that Sania? How do you say that? Sania Joshi. You're a new face, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's clearly bouncing off this line. It did look like there was 2 legs up, and I thought that was a bit bearish, but you don't really want to be going short into these. I mean, this may be the new sort of low. We did something a couple of days ago, didn't we? Had this, and so this does look like it's going to work up from here, doesn't it? Let's just get rid of that. Same again, second entry short, but I'm just not thinking about going short at the moment. It may trap some short. I mean, it hasn't worked out anyway, but we're clearly finding some support around here. So I'd say we may be working up. Okay, that's a failure, isn't it? Tempted to go long there. It is a failure, isn't it? Let's see how it turns out.
Order submitted. Order filled.
It's a failure, that is. So we've bounced off these lows a couple of times, so I'm going to go for the full 4 points there, I think. Try and go low. One side, so it's fairly above the EMA. Let's see how we get on. Let's go 5, 6, 7, 8, 2. Let's go just over 2 points, I think. In fact, there's 2 points. It wouldn't have hit me anyway, so. Looks like it may get me. It's stopping on there, so we may be okay. Sorry about that. Not a good time to have a knock at the door on a parcel. There's nothing I can do at the moment. So look, okay, it is a failure. It didn't go up 2 points. See what happens here. If prices do hold and push up, then I may take that up too. I was hoping to get up here to get the full 4 points. We'll see what happens there.
Order filled.
Okay, 2 points. Excuse me a second. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, that's frustrating. That's frustrating. I sort of knew it was going to go up here, but I had to. That's frustrating. It's all right. I had got the new Apple Watch 8 I had to sign for. Can post it through the door. So that's initially where I had it to full 4 points, and I would have got it, but I had to get out of it. Let's have a look. So, okay, everything's as it should be. That's a shame. What am I missing? Let's have a look. Okay, so yeah, we're clearly sort of it's clearly a channel for me. We touched. A little bit of overshoot there. So for me, it was a nice failure. That it's just a shame the 2 points, because I think when it pushed up there, I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure it would have gone pretty rapidly. Okay, anyway, so we're at 2 points. Let's have a look. So yeah. I got 3 PA accounts, so 201, another 100 in each, plus I got 2 new evaluations, 200 in that, so that's $800 total. Did your trade copy work on that trade? Yes, it did, mate. Nothing's moving now. It's finished where it should do. There's nothing there. Yeah, nothing's moved, nothing's changed. I did check that before I ran off. Let's move that down a touch, because it's let's have a look. There is a bit of an overshoot there, so I'm not thinking about going long again, but that was a nice trade, I think. So we're clearly struggling to get down here. So this might be the bottom of the new this might range in area. In fact, to be honest with you, I did put a line across there earlier, because it may be working in this area. And strange enough, as it's overshot there, it's at a lower high, and there's a failure there, so that may come down. I don't really want to take a short at the moment, to be honest with you, just in case I'm wrong about that. But there's 2 points anyway, so that's a solid 2 points. I'm happy with that, and it is there's our new low. Try go once, try go twice, failed. Nice bar. It's just going up for me. That is. Give me the exact code for this. Search in Trading View. What am I missing? Trade. Oh yeah, sorted. So that is a failed second entry short with 2 points. That's a shame. I saw these areas here and thought for sure it's going to come up here, and I would have put it a couple of ticks. I did want the 4 points really, but it's frustrating. Where did I go about there? So sort of the full 4 points would have given me. I had it set on 4 points, I think, so it would have comfortably smashed that and more. And we still look like we're going up, so maybe, in fact, that might be just a wider channel there, because we're sort of touching there, and it's still going up. Now we've just broken above that high. There's a triangular one, it might be a failure, or it might be a short trap. But I don't really want to go long here into this. It hasn't broken below there anyway, so I'm not getting involved in that one. I'd have preferred it to trigger low there, but yeah, it's done what I expected it to do. So let me just adjust this. Yeah, it fits here, it fits there, and it fits nice down the bottom. So that's a nice channel within a smaller range. So that might be a bounce off there. I don't know, but anyway, we're in the points, so that's the main thing. So plus 2 points. Excellent. Good start to the day. Yeah, it does look like it, so let's get rid of this now. Remove that. Pop one of those in. Yeah. Touch. Be interesting to see if this comes down. So yeah, we're clearly moving up there now. I don't know whether somebody puts the channel. I always put the channel in. I see Mac doing it, so I always do anyway. Whether it's right or wrong, who knows? But that looks like one leg down, 2 legs down, maybe a push up again. 1 leg, 2 leg. Trouble is, it's reversing here, so I don't really want to be going long here. 2 points in and out, excellent. Took that triple test. Yeah, I wasn't really focusing, to be fair. I was looking at, is it going to trap some longs? If that went bullish, say, then I may have taken a failure there. But yeah, we clearly seem to be working in this area, which that's okay. That is. So we got a new low there. Triangular ones there. There was a failure there as well, which worked. Triangular ones, triangular twice, failure. Bit congested though. So okay, I like it if we can get into a trade early, because I'm basically done. That is sort of my target for the day, really, and if I can do that every day, 5 days a week, that's more than enough for me, and I don't want to be greedy. Sometimes greed has got me into trouble in the past, so but yeah, clear failure, push up, triangular once, triangular twice, nicely above the EMA, because of that smaller range you have. Thanks for that, it's all right. So yeah, touching, yeah, absolutely. If it's going to come back to this side, you'd expect to do it on a triple test, and that was all right there. We'd had a bit of we may have had a bit of an overshoot there. I brought that out. In fact, probably if I leave the overshoot there, you'd think then maybe reversal. So we push higher again, and then come down strongly. So yeah, this was obviously the bottom. These are the overnight lows, but it's definitely working in this area. So I'm in and I'm out. I'm a bit annoyed with myself, really, but I ordered this Apple Watch yesterday, and the guy was outside knocking, and the dogs were barking like crazy. So, but yeah, I mean, after seeing this up here, I thought there was a good chance that could push up there, and I usually go for the full 4, but it is what it is. I'm in, that's the main thing. Anybody else take that failure? But yeah, I think that was okay. Yeah, clearly a triple test. Nice bar. I just get nervous about them. I prefer them to break out and then drop. That tells me then there's some sellers up there, because if it doesn't break out and drop, it may push a bit higher to the liquidity of the shorts up here. So I like it when it breaks off, because if you're going to sell that market, really, I mean, we wait for the bar to here, but you know, after trading currency, we're waiting for a pullback, and we'll wait for it to break above there before we short it, and our short entry goes here, stop maybe up here. So that's that's another reason. I was looking through that book map yesterday as well, and it's starting to become clearer. All these sort of coloured lines, the blues, the blacks, the whites, and the reds and the oranges, are where liquidity is. So if there was a lot of orange or red above this line, that tells me there's a lot of shorts up there, and the market then obviously works its way towards liquidity. Took that same failure that occurred. Nice, good on you, Jay. On you, basically repeat pattern, yeah. Okay, so we're coming to the lows. Am I thinking bearish or bullish today? Neither really. So I'm quite happy to buy off these lows. Should I get a decent entry? But I have to make sure I know what I'm doing. I tend to prefer maybe the higher lows or the failures, really. You don't necessarily have to pick them here. If you're only going for a couple of points, there's plenty of points available there. But sometimes I've just been caught out on these bottoms, and I'm not a massive fan. Okay, interesting. It's broken below there a little bit. In fact, it's touched them lows, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah. I'm just not a fan of taking these. You could say that's a triple test. I don't know. I'm not a fan of taking them, to be honest with you. I'm going to leave it alone. I want something a little bit more. This doesn't look like it's going to work anyway, but Indy, yeah, everything worked, mate. Everything worked fine. It's all up here. Look, everything triggered exactly the same. There's the two evaluations. That's the 1p account. That's nearly on $2,000 now. So those three exactly the same figures, and the $95.82 after fees for the other two contracts that I just trade on one. The other two accounts which I just trade on one contract. Yeah, it all worked fine. I did check it, to be honest with you, before I ran to the door. I started watching the candles on triple test. If it closes hard and fast, I take it. Yeah, sometimes it'll drop below and it'll push up nice and strong, which tells me there's buyers below that line. The trouble is, if you notice, it's stalling a little bit here, isn't it? Which is making me a bit nervous. There is a little bit of a bullish bar there, but it's not fantastic, is it? It's not. It's definitely congested a bit there, so there's nothing positive enough for me to think about going there. So I'd rather just let it get on with it. This might push up. Yeah, I thought that might. So it's tried a few times and then gone up, but it's congested. I'd rather think about maybe taking a failure again first. If it can get above the EMA. Trouble is, when it is ranging, at some point it could break down to the low. So what I don't want to do is push up to the EMA and then reverse and push out the bottom. But that's gone up nice and strongly, that has. Lovely that, but it's a big old bar. Let's have a look. That's not as big as it looks. It's 3 points. It looks a lot bigger, doesn't it? How long did you take on? To be honest with you, I like to get them done a bit quicker. So the trouble is, the quicker you try and do them, the less of a strike rate you have. But I did one a week or so ago, week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that, and I put it on 10 contracts, and I sat back in here in the evening and waited till we started having this nice little trend up here, nice tight trend. We had 2 legs down, it started working up nice, and I just bought at 10 contracts, set me take profit at 6 points and a tick, and it went straight to it. And then that put me, I think, about $80 above the 3,000, and that's more than enough to cover your just take 1 micro a day than I do. I like to speed them up. The trouble is, these 2 I've got now, what I want to do is build them up at the same rate as my PAs. So when I hit $3,000, my 1 PA should be around about $5,000 then, in which case I'll withdraw $2,000 then. And with that $2,000, I'll put a bit in my bank as wages, and I'll get maybe another 3 or 4 PAs evaluations. Ideally, what I'd like to do is build the PAs up to about 10 for now. Maybe trade 2 on 2 contract and use those 2 to take $2,000 for, because obviously they're going to hit target a bit quicker. And then there's a higher low there. I'd rather wait for the failure, I think. So we got a new low here. Try to go low once, push up. Yeah, I'd rather the ones I go with 2 contracts, I'd use them for some wages, and I'll try and build the others up. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of taking that below the EMA, just in case it triggers above, comes back down and pushes down, because at some point it could turn into a channel down. Do you know what I mean? That's the bit that makes me a bit nervous. So okay, so try to go low once. If this pulls down, 1, 2, 3. There may be a failure here. I don't think it's going to come down there, is it? Yeah, that's what makes me nervous, that just when I get in on the trend, the trade, it decides to start then coming down. I am 300 shy of passing my eval. Good on you, Arminas. Good on you, mate. Good on you. I mean, the most sensible way to do an evaluation is just to take your time, maybe do 1, 2 contracts and build it up over a couple of weeks or something, because ultimately that's how you're going to be trading. You're going to be trading nice and slow and nice and steady. Now, I get it, you know, if we've got a 90% offer on and you want to try and pass them quick, you know, it might take you 2 or 3 tries to pass them quick, but it might, you know, I tend to like to get them done, and then I can concentrate on my PAs then. But I'm taking my time here, because I know when I've passed these 2 at $3,000, one of my accounts will be enough to withdraw something. So where did you get the indicator that shows the bar size? Well, that there, I'll show you. Right, okay, it's above my head. It's called, strangely enough, and I bet you'll never guess it, bar size counter. So it's from their TickTech, so www.ticktech.com, TickTech.com, and it's free. I probably don't use it as much, because if I see a good trade now, I just get in it regardless to the size of the bar, really. But it's a nice indicator if you want to know the size of this. It tells you the size of this, and obviously that one there tells you the previous, but it does help your decision making. So yeah, ticktech.com, and it's free. You'll be glad to know. Okay, so possible failure. I don't like that though. I just have this horrible feeling that I'm going to go long here and market's going to come down. I have this feeling. I don't know why. I hope I'm wrong. Because at some point it could push up and see, that is a failure. I just do not like that. You know, these can break any time, really. I hope for my sanity it goes up, but my thought process, if we had, well, my thought process, I'm thinking we may get something like that, and then it may turn into a bigger range. I don't know, but it's just something I'm uneasy there. Okay, for good reason as well. Something just didn't look right about going up there, and that was a good decision to make. See what I mean? I drew that. Something didn't feel right. I had a feeling something was going to come down, and it's exactly what it did. That's why I know someone says don't trade what you think. I don't trade what I think, but what I'd like to do is try and, by predicting what's going on, it means I'm starting to understand how people think, because what we're doing here is studying human behaviour. And if you can understand it, you can figure out what it's doing. And that way, hopefully, don't get caught on the wrong side of it. See, if I took that failure, that higher low there, and was expecting to get to the top, it just goes to show whether you picked the bottom there, you picked that one, or you picked that one, that come down and took you out. And it didn't go up a huge amount. If you took it from there, what did it go up? You'd have squeezed 3 points. And if I'd have taken the bottom, I'd have expected it to get up here, but it just goes to show. Sometimes I get this feeling, and it was clearly a feeling because I drew that there, and it's clearly working. So let's see if this is a fail breakout. I'm not so sure it's going to. I think we're going to move down a bit personally. I just got a feeling the way the market looks to me. But it could be a fail breakout. Okay, push down, try go once, try go twice, possible failure. It's just congested there though, so in my opinion, it's a bit risky. But I think we've got I think we're coming down personally. There's certainly to these lows, which is why I was a bit. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's a fail breakout. Push down, try go once, try go twice. Let's see if that triggers. Those, I'm not sure if you got that. See these here? Have you got this? This is one of Mac's toolbars. It's that one there, and you just sort of, it does your first one, then the other one, it just, so otherwise, if you haven't got Mac's, what you're going to have to do is just do something like this. Do something like that, and then just sort of right click and copy and paste. And then just sort of do it that way. One leg down, that's the only other way to do it really if you haven't got that toolbar. Okay. Okay, so push down, try go once, try go twice, failure, triggered. I think this is coming down, one leg, two legs. I hope I'm wrong though. I'm not confident enough to take that trade though, because it is congested. And it may trap some shorts. Interested to see if this if this triggers long, actually. New high, if it triggers long and pushes down. Anytime, Sam. You're right, mate. Yeah, just do it that way. Just do a line and copy and paste. But this is one of Mac's little toolbars there, so it's useful. It's useful because it's surprising how accurate these measured legs are. So let's see if this triggers. This is interesting. This is so we've had a leg down, tried to go once, tried to go twice. There's a failure which is triggered. So I'd like to see this break above this and then trap some longs because I think I'd expect it to come down to these lows, maybe to this leg here. Let's have a look. See if it does break above there. It's not the best place to take a trade because it is really congested there. So yeah. Okay, that's triggered. Now I think it's coming down now. Once, try it twice. Let's have a look. I didn't take. I'm not willing to bet a trade on it because it's clearly congested. But it hasn't broken above here yet. Funnily enough, it's sat on top of there. It might be completely wrong, but it just something didn't feel right there. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, it's going to break above there. For sure. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so this is just a failed breakout then, I think. Where are we going to go to, though? Let's get rid of them for now. Still looks like it's struggling to me. Yeah, it's free, that, Sam. It is useful, actually. At least it gives you that, especially when you're sort of newer, I think. I was really concerned about bar sizes. But I've spoken to a lot of other traders, you know, who trade Pats, and they say they're not too fussed about the bar size if it's a good trade. But the ATR is quite low at the moment, so a tick above, tick below. It's 2.5 point risk. If that ATR gets to sort of 3.5, and you're getting close to 5 point risks, you know, then it's maybe you got to think about limit orders. I hear people like Marco and that, and maybe Mac talking. And when bars do start to get a little bit bigger, then maybe think about taking a limit order. But traders I spoke to that trade Pats, if they see a good enough setup, they'll just take it regardless. Especially with the ATR as it is at the moment. Okay, so there's a higher low there. I kind of like that. But it's a bit far from the EMA for me, and there is a little bit of support there, or resistance, and that would make me nervous going short there. Because this could be a triple test. We've actually broke below here, see, so it might come up, retest this again, and then drop. So I don't really want to go long there. We have had a push up, and it's a higher low. We've got one leg, could go another leg. You know, part of me thinks it's going to get up here, but yeah, okay, so that's okay. But we pushed down, hit that once, hit it twice. There was a possibility we'd hit it 3 times, and then we may come down, but it's worked fine then as. So nice looking little channel there now. Your tick counter was previous bar size. Your tick counter with the previous bar size. That one, I think that's part of Max. Yeah, I think it is. Interesting. Let me have a look. Someone else might help you there. Yeah, see, there's the Pat's toolbar. That's that, I think. Now, I'm not sure whether this is included in that or not. Yeah, it shows... hold on a second. I think it might be that one. It's either that one. It's one of them anyway. Max doesn't have the previous bar. Well, it might do, but you've got to activate it. Let me have a look. Let me have a think. Have a look at it, mate. I'm pretty sure there's another box to tick that shows you. I'm not sure which one it is. I don't know what that is. What's that? One-click trader thing. No, it's okay. I can't remember now. I'm pretty sure, because it's usually down here, isn't it? And you can get it to move there. And I'm pretty sure there's a box where you just add on another one. Okay, so there is a triple test there. We've pushed down. We've hit it once, twice, 3 times. We've broken above it a little bit, but we've come back in. So whether this is just a break and we're going to push higher, I don't know. But I don't want to be going... I mean, there's a failure there. But I don't really want to be going long here, just in case that triple test plays a part. I don't think it will, but it could. So I've got to leave it alone. It might, see, that might trigger above there and then come down. But I mean, we've come down from the tops. We tried to go once, tried to go twice. We've actually broke out a little bit, tried to go a third time. So it is a triple test, and it's just, yeah, okay. So if you took that triple test, there's, yeah, you got enough points. That's why I just can't think about going long there or even there because of these highs. So if you took, yeah, you got more than enough points there. It clearly went down 4. You'd have got 4 points out of it. But yeah, there was a higher low there, and I looked at it, but the fact is there's clearly some resistance here. And I'm glad I didn't take it because it wouldn't have given me... I did look at it. Normally, if we'd have been pushing up and down, I'd maybe have taken something like that. But you'd have got a point out of it, I think. 1.25 if you're lucky. That's the prior... But yeah, okay. It's the BP times MAC part 2. Which is... Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. Down and then strongly up. So part 2 will be in there somewhere. I'll have a look in a sec. Interesting. Okay, so you'd have got your 2 or 3 points, whatever you took on that, if you'd have took the triple test, and all of a sudden strongly pushed up again. Let's have a look. Ticks, price line... Prior bar, there you go. I think that's it. Prior bar, apply. Yeah, prior bar, it took it off. So, where was it? Prior bars range. Let's put it back on. It'll pop up now. Apply. There we go. Yeah, so it's in there. BP Max Part 2, prior bars range. So getting a little bit choppy here. Okay, so if you took that short there, it went down about 4 points, and then shut up. It's getting a bit. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it, mate. It's my thought process. I mean, sometimes, even if I'm sat here by myself, I'll talk to myself. But that's just between us. That's just between me, you, and me shrink. But yeah, there's a... Clearly getting a bit choppy here. Yeah, I did look at that. I mean, we I did look at that, but we've struggled twice above here, and if you'd have taken it, I wouldn't have got enough anyway, and you just can't go long there, really. It's just a little bit risky, and it did come down for about 4 points if you took it short. I couldn't have gone short, to be fair, anyway, because we're in a bit of a channel here, so I think it's likely it would have worked, and it did, but for me, it's just not something I want to risk, especially when I'm up. If I'm up, I tend to get extra cautious. Okay, so we've had this triple test. We've come back. We tried to go once, tried to go twice. Maybe we're coming down again. In fact, I'm gonna put that down there. I'm gonna move this up to there, because for me that is the bottom of the channel now, and I'm just gonna put this here. Extend right, where the previous bottom of these two bigger swings, and I'm also going to put another one there just at the overnight low. Let's make it nice and bright. Pink, that'll do. Yeah, okay, so that's the overnight lows. Extend right, super. Okay, so this was the bottom of this original sort of trend, and this is the lows. So we seem to be working in this area with a little bit of a break here. 2 points a day, absolutely. See, Mac talks about, initially when he talks about it, he talks about 1 point, doesn't he? And then he talks about a couple of trades a day. So by getting 2 points, effectively, you've got 2 1-point scalps. Now, I would have gone for a little bit more than that on there, because for me, these were the highs. So I'd have probably put it a few ticks below the main body of this. I tend to go for the main bodies and not the wick. I tend to be a little bit cautious, but my 4 points, I think, was down here anyway. I go from 2 to 4. I tend to follow what Taylor does. So there was our failure. If you went a tick above it, your 4 points, you'd have easily got your 4 points anyway. Just on that push, you'd have hit that. But yeah, 2 points a day. But I just become extra cautious. I want something that almost jumps at me and waves at me. And I'm quite happy. At the end of the day, for me, it's more important, not so much how many that I do or win. It's more that I get consistency of having nice green days. I've really had to hold my trading back a bit and just sit there and just wait for really good setups. And anything that looks okay, that's maybe a bit iffy, or anything that I get that feeling that something doesn't feel right and I'm a bit nervous, I leave it alone now. I just want something that jumps out with me and goes, this is a good setup. That's what I'm trying to focus on more about, quality rather than quantity. If I don't get a trade a day, fine. If I sit through all this and there's no setup and I don't take a trade, as far as I'm done, I've done a good job. Because you only really take what the market gives you, and if you take risky stuff, sooner or later it'll bite you. And I've been bitten many times. Taylor is have you heard of Top? You know Marco, so Top Pick Trading. They do their own form of trading, I think, with Max Blessing. It's Marco and Taylor. Now Marco scalps for 6 ticks. He has 10 Apex accounts and he trades 3 contracts and goes for 6 ticks. So he makes himself around about $200 a day. So $2,000 a day on the 10 accounts. So, but whereas Taylor is a little bit more extreme, he goes for somewhere between 2 and 4 points. Now, obviously, depending if we're in this range and you're going from here, you could clearly get the full 4 points. But obviously, if we've had a channel, we've had a break, and there's only 3 points to the lows, then he may just take 2 points. But you'll hear, if you look at Top Pick Trading on their website, you'll hear, I'll get them up actually, because they're nice. Anybody who's good or who can trade well, I'm happy to advertise or show you their channel or whatever. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's no competition here. It's all about helping each other. top pick trading. But as far as I'm concerned, they're good traders. That's it there. There's Marco there looking shocked. That was the loss. Kudos for him for doing that. It's nice because I took that trade. I think it was whatever it was. I took that trade and lost it as well. And I think a lot of us did so. But that's them top pick trading. But I don't know. Yeah, top pick trading. So yeah, it's Marco and Taylor. They're both really nice guys. And I've had a lot of help from Marco in my trading. And I always leave a nice comment and I always get a nice reply. So, but yeah, it's nice to have the difference, the contrast of traders. One, Marco goes a little bit safer and does the 6 ticks, whereas Taylor. But everyone's got their own sort of risk. How risk averse you are. Some people might go for a few more points. Well, they may lose a little bit more trades, or some people try to keep your trade losses minimum and just get a smaller amount. But they're both nice guys. Now, you can ask many questions as you like, Sam. I don't mind, mate. I'm a question asker as well. I'm forever messaging people. The good thing about a lot of you US guys is when I'm in bed and can't sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's early evening for you guys. So I quite often wake up and if something bothers me, I'll start messaging people. So I've got no problem. Okay, so I'm going to bring that down to there because that to me. Stop. I hate that. There we go. It's a pet hate of mine, that is. So let's just highlight that a little bit. Colour. Okay, so yeah, we're clearly working in here. That's to me a little bit of breakout. So let's see what happens here. I don't want to take this because it's a little bit. It's not where I would want to go short, really. I've been taken out so many times on them, triggered, stopped out. It pops above here and comes down bearish. So I'd expect that to take out the stop if anybody took that. I'm not a massive fan of trading the tops and bottoms in a range, I've got to say. It's just the one thing I'm not a fan of. See, I suppose you could pull that down a little bit. Let's have a look. Okay, touch, 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 touch. That might just be a little bit of a breakout. Yeah, that looks all right, that actually. Yeah, I prefer these really. If I'm going to pick these, I prefer them to break above and then close back in, which tells me if someone's shorting that, they're more likely going to do it, or maybe an institutional trader. Where there's, the bigger money that move these markets a bit. I prefer it when it breaks and then has a quick drop. Yeah, that one pushed above and then came back down. So if you did take that one, you'd have got a couple of points, I think. Yeah, you'd have got 2.5 points on that. Well, maybe a bit. I've come from the very low, so you can add an extra tick on. So if you go at the bottom, it's 2.5 points. So you'd have got 2.25 points. But you're not stopped out anyway. So now, if make more candles in between, sharp up move. You think so? So actually, as far as a range goes, it's quite a neat looking one actually. It fits nice. Sometimes you get these range days every time it hits the bottom. At the top, it's hitting a different place, and it's so hard to try and pinpoint where to take the trade. That's what I prefer. It's a break above there, and then pick up. See, if you're gonna take profits, you're gonna take your profits here, aren't you? If you're gonna sell this, obviously depending on your strategy, you're going to put your sell orders above here. So as it breaks through, it pushes up to liquidity. You know, the longs take the profits, and then so they give up, and then the sellers come in, which then pushes it down. It hasn't come down sharply enough for me though. See how it finishes.
Order submitted.
Okay, doji.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of taking these. I've got to say, when I get an order ready, I start getting really nervous. So that was a doji, and that had a quick shootout anyway. So, who mentioned? Didn't someone mention possibly higher? Was that more candles between? Sania, yeah. Yeah, we did push up, so maybe we're going to retest up here. Yeah, I hate taking... I don't mind this type of trade there in the middle, but picking tops and bottoms, you know, if you get it wrong, you're screwed. It's just something I'm not a massive fan of. It's got to be done. I got an order ready just in case, but I don't take pleasure in it. Okay, so maybe this is just a failed breakout. So if you took that short, your arse will be twitching right about now. And to be honest with you, it's in a channel here. I'd like to think now we were going to come and retest these highs, but if you did take a short there, I hope you get your points. I'd be nervous about that. May go up to 41.60. Yeah, it certainly may. Okay, there's a bit of a doji there, so you maybe, it looks like it might slowly grind. I wouldn't like to be in there. If you are, good luck. There's a bit of a channel here. Now, you know, most breakouts fail, but just not a fan of that. It's in a little channel, see. Okay, you may be okay here. Come on down. Stop loss 41.50 enter maybe. Yeah, I'll be surprised if it doesn't stop out. Sometimes when it gets that close, so many times it eventually goes through. So many times I've taken trades like that, and I've got me stop here, and it just comes back a bit, and I get a bit of hope, and then what it does is it just slowly grinds up and takes me out anyway. Sometimes I wonder, when I get that feeling, I'd say 9 times out of 10, it stops me out. I don't know whether to just cancel the trade and come out. I can save myself a point, or you know. So, come on down. Come on. I hate it when they go sideways. Yeah, I'll be inclined to get out of that trade. It may work, but the thing about getting out of trade is you're guaranteed not to lose any money. If you're in a trade that goes sideways, I'm just not a fan of them. Okay, lovely. So if you took that, you're good. You're golden. Quite a quiet day today, actually. It's usually quite a bit more than that. Okay. Okay, so there's a lower high there. Yeah, it's above the EMA anyway, so it's not something I'm really looking into. I just have to get in that 1C nice and early. It's got to be a really good trade to get me interested in, so I'm not sure whether we're going to come up again or work up to the top. See, obviously we've got this area which we've been up to before, so it might break out, come back. It's hit the EMA a couple of times, so it may push up and continue higher and work up to these highs, so I can't think about going short back into the channel really. Range, rather, sorry. I mentioned a trade yesterday actually that the Penguin had taken, and he did. He took it. So I'm starting to understand him. We had this push down. We had like 2 legs down, and I heard him go. We made 2 attempts to go high, and we came back down. And I remember drawing this, the risk to reward, and he actually took the trade. What is it around actually? He actually took the trade. So it's quite interesting. I kind of like working out who would do what, and he took the trade and it worked. So I do like the Penguin guy. He's quite technical, and I like that. He really reads these markets well, I think. And I do like the fact that he goes for more points. It's something I'm trying to aspire to do myself. Try to go for maybe at minimum 1-to-1, which I tend to do anyway, but sometimes I'll go for 2 points depending on how the markets. But he always goes for a minimum 1-to-1. I kind of like that. Now, I suppose if you're Mac and you're scalping at points, you're going to lose very few trades. If you're going for 1-to-1, you're probably going to lose maybe 1 or 2 more. But if you're a good market reader, then I think I prefer to make bigger pots. Okay, so possible second entry long off here. I just can't go into these tops because obviously that's been the top of our range. So I would have said it's likely to come down. So it'd be interesting to see if this triggers. And that may carry on up. We've broken out of it, but most breakouts fail, as we know. We've had one this side, so we can equally have one this side. So I kind of hope this finishes bullish, because if it does and triggers above it, there's a failed second entry long, and I'd say that may bring us back in there. Let's see how that finishes. No. So I'd say in that case, probably lightly coming back in. Where did I have that one? There is a second. If it finishes bullish, it may go higher, but personally, I think if it finishes bullish and it triggers, interesting. I think it'll trigger and then come down personally, and I think that purely because we're clearly in a range and it's broken out of that range, and most breakouts fail. So I'd expect it to come down, but I've got involved in trades like this before, thinking, yeah, perfect second entry long above the EMA, triggers you, comes down and stops you out. But obviously there is a possibility it could work up to these highs. It's possible, but let's see if that triggers. But if it triggers, I think it's coming down. I like to try and work out what's going on, and if it works, it just tells me that I'm in tune with the market and I'm understanding what's going on. Trigger. I mean, it may trigger and rocket up, but I don't think it will. So we've got a new high, fell breakout, try go once, try go twice. Let's see if it comes down. Still inside this micro trend. Can't take it. No. I mean, it might work. It's looking like it's going to work. The trouble is, I've put that little channel there, and it may work higher. But up until this point, we're clearly ranging, really nicely ranging. So I'd say, obviously, you know, the saying is most breakouts fail. That's a breakout, so it's likely going to fail, in which case indicating it's likely going to come lower, which is why I couldn't take a long at these highs. It's not to say it's not going to, because it could. We have been up here before, so at some point we could get back up there, and this may be the, as per my chart reading, operator buy-in. Oh, right, okay. So there's a failure, which is triggered. How much has that gone up? This is where things like that hit that bookmap come into their own. Okay, so you'd have got 0.5 off that so far. It's just I've been in trades like this before, and it comes down and stops me out, and I'm thinking why, and someone says, well, we're in a range and we've had a breakout. Most breakouts fail. That's why you got stopped out. So, if you took that long, you're in this trade now. Now, this may trigger down and push up, and there may be other traders in there going along again, the higher low, and then it may rocket down and take them all out. I think it's coming down, personally. We've pushed down, we've tried to go higher twice more, retested this top. For me, we're coming down, and there's probably going to be some longs in there. If this finishes bullish, it may trigger above that, but it's coming down for me. We've pushed down, we tried twice to get higher. If you're in that trade there, I think you're getting stopped out. May go sideways a bit, but I still think it's going to come down. Unfortunately, nothing I really want to get interested in there. Yeah, I think you have to see this as a range, personally, because it is a range. Although I've got this channel, which seems to fit, you still got to treat it as a range, and we've had a breakout. It often does this, doesn't it? It comes down and gives you offerings, and you get in there. And I mentioned now, it may push up and give you a high low and trigger again. Then all of a sudden it comes and wham and takes you down, and you're wondering why. I mean, it may go up. But for me, we've had a breakout. Most breakouts fail. That's triggered again. Now, I think that's going to come down, take out your lower high on that. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But it's clearly struggling to get above this, and we're at the top of this range. So, personally, I think that's coming down, and it's going to take out longs there. I hope I'm wrong. But there's almost definitely going to be some longs there. And there's probably there'll be some there, so let's see what happens. Morning, just come over from Panda. His stream was amazing last week, was it? He's struggling a bit, isn't he? I hope it does go higher. Yeah, he's not doing. He's having a bad time, isn't he? Oh, excuse me. You need to mark the first low after the big down move. You need to mark the first low. How do you mean mark it? Silence bullish. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, there is a second entry long there, but it's a bit. I'm not a fan of it. It does look like it's struggling to get over here, and I have to say to myself, okay, we're clearing the range at the moment, and we've had a breakout. Now it might well go, and it looks like it is, but I have to treat this as a breakout, which is likely going to fail. Yeah, lost $2,500, 4 days in a row, over 1,000 loss. I don't like seeing anybody doing bad, but I see a lot of his trades. I'm seeing he's taking shorts, you know, sort of 5-6 points away from the EMA. I don't quite understand why you go short 6 points away from the EMA when you're going down. I don't quite know how he's reading the market, but he seems to have his own sort of strategy, which I don't quite get. But I don't like seeing anybody struggle. It's a shame. He did come back a bit yesterday. He was down about $2,500, and he came back a bit, didn't he? He got some back. But he does seem to trade like this, right in it, and I don't often see him, you know, zooming out and looking at the bigger picture. But it's a shame. I hope it does continue up. But I've been in trades like this before, and it's just flushed down. Okay, so you get 2 points there, so that's okay. It's not his real money, so what's good? Yeah, but the thing is, if he's paying for a $300,000 evaluation, what's that costing him? I know he did a lot. He did that 24-hour thing, didn't he? And I saw on one of them, it said 15th attempt. So if you're blowing that many, I don't see why you get the $300,000 ones. I mean, I've never got more than the $50,000. Because I figure if I'm blowing him, I'd rather blow him on something a lot more manageable. Okay, so we did have a little channel down here, breaking a new low and then a higher low, so it worked. But the trouble is, when we've had this failed breakout and we push up once and push out twice, I get a bit nervous about going long. It doesn't mean to say it's not going to work. 24 hours last week, awesome stuff, no doubt. Yeah, it's a shame because he's a nice enough guy, isn't he? A little channel there with a break new low, higher low, which is it's made 2 points anyway, or whatever, however many you took. It just made me nervous going along there when we've had this break and we've tried a couple of times to get higher. I know we've had a break out the bottom, and often you can get the same at the top. Let's see if we smash through that top. See, I'd say there's probably some shorts above there, some short stops. So if it does break that, it might do it with a little bit of a bit of vigor. Another thing I don't like about going along in these areas here, sometimes when the market moves, it moves quick. I did this. I took a long, I don't know, a few weeks ago off here, and it went up to about 2 points and then went wham down, and I had about a 2.5 point stop, or 2.75 point stop, and it ended up taking me out for 4.5 points. So yeah, sometimes when it's doing this, it moves really quickly, and if if you're on the wrong end of it, it's frustrating. How you doing, Brant? How you doing, mate? Pamela's one bad. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. He's just seemed to have slipped into some bad habits and making some odd trades. I think didn't he start with Mac and then moved on to more Al Brooks, and he seems to have sort of come up with his own sort of trading system, which just is struggling to work that I can see. Okay, so that worked all right. Little channel down here. Trouble is, I'm just nervous about going along right near this area. It's not to say it's not going to work, but we've got 2k threshold now. Now trading 1-2 contracts. The trouble is, if you start big and then end up losing a ton of money, and you come back on 1 to 2, you've got to make $20,000, or what has he got to make? $7,500. I mean, he's got to get, what is he, $5,000 down? So if he's trading 1 or 2 contracts, it's probably going to take him a month or two to get back to just back to break even. And that's the frustrating thing about going too big too quick. I've done it myself many times. It is a shame. I don't like seeing anybody struggling, because I know what it feels like when you're on the receiving end of it. It's shit, really, when you're feeling low. And I've sat in my bedroom, I have, after I've blown yet another PA account, and I have felt like literally crying. It's horrible. And your savings are being dwindled. And you're lying to your wife. I bet traders have told more lies than any other profession, I think. But, you know, if you get a bit of success and you build some accounts, you'll soon get your money back. That's the good thing. Be fun grind. Make it back $5,000. Yeah. There's no. It's got to be a horrible feeling knowing you've got to make $5,000 just till you get back to break even. Been there, yeah, Jay. We've all been there, mate. And it's a horrible feeling, isn't it? It's a horrible feeling. There goes. Scalp 6 ticks. What's the stop? It is a horrible feeling. Excuse me just a second. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Right, how are we doing? Okay, touch. 1 tick off, so I'm quite pleased. I'm quite happy about this being the main top. Obviously, this is a fell breakout, whatever you want to call it, but definitely another ranging day. No argument there. Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that. For me, it's clearly ranging, so I just can't bring myself to going along there. I've done that before, and it pushes up a few ticks, and then wham, and it takes out your long stops from there and there. Because we've had this little channel, we've had a break and a new low, a higher low. I mean, it's worked. But if I took that and it came down, I'd have people saying to me, "Why the hell did you go long right into the support?" But it worked anyway. So if you did go along there, good for you. 12 ticks. Good on you, mate. it's just going a little bit congested there, see, so it could do a bunch of stuff. Some Fed guy apparently said debt ceiling situation may be resolved soon as tomorrow. So it looks like we're having a little rally on that. Okay, I was having a look around that book map last night actually, and it's quite interesting. I could definitely see a use for it. If there's a lot of liquidity up here waiting to go short, I think it'll certainly help your decision-making process. Okay, so break above this. Okay, I'm not thinking about getting short up here anyway, so I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Oh, interesting, that pushed up there and picked up some shorts by the looks of things. Interesting. It's broken above this line and then had a quick drop. Interesting. I'm not a fan of these, I gotta say. It may come down. I'm going to leave it anyway. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea. I will be back with you in 5 minutes. Okay, so that one didn't look great anyway, and it never triggered anyway. But a little bit of, and that's come down nice. So let's see, because there is like a channel here. Let's see if we're going to pull back down here again, or we're going to push higher. I don't think we're going to. I'd say by what I'm seeing, we're probably going to come down lower now. Push down, a little bit of sideways. I expect another push down again. Leg, breaking a leg. So I look. Let's do that. This is what I expect. We see this quite a bit, don't we? A little short-term trend channel, a little bit of sideways, and then another push. Come on down. Okay. For me, this is coming down. I prefer a second entry short, though. And we've just got a call from my gut. It says we're going down now. Yeah, okay, so early lows. See if this triggers and then comes down. That would be a second entry short then. It's looking like it, isn't it? But there is a channel here with a break. Now, I know we're in a range, but it is still possible it could push higher. I don't think it will. For me, it's coming back down. Trouble is, we haven't really got any setup there. I prefer a push above here and then come back down. Trouble is, it is a bit congested there, so. Let's get rid of this a minute. Okay, second entry short, congested though. Oh, didn't seem to make a difference. Let's see if this just comes down now. So it pushed up there, it pushed up a second time and then just dropped. That tells me that there's some shorts under here. So leg, probably get another leg then. Trouble is, I looked at that, but it's just a bit congested, so I just couldn't go short there anyway. I mean, it was a second entry short, but you'd think we'd have a leg, a bit of sideways and another leg. Interesting. There is a possibility we could push and get a new high. I don't think we will. Push down, try go once, try go twice, try go to 3 times. In fact, depending if you don't count this, there's a sort of no. I certainly expect it to come down anyway. Whether it does it now or I don't know. I don't really want to take a short that far from the MA. Does look like a bear flag, so I'd expect it to make another leg down here. Put that there, tops. It's just too dodgy at the moment, isn't it? Yeah, I expect it to come down another leg. Looks like a bear flag to me. I would much prefer the body of that. I'd much prefer it to push up to these highs and then close and have the top of the body sat on the EMA and end up bearish. It's relatively close there, so at some point it's going to come down, in my opinion. And this looks like it might be the bar to do it. It's probably closest to the EMA and that's bearish enough, but it has pulled a bit of a wick at the bottom, so... Let's... I think it needs to get below this area, doesn't it? Let's have a look. There is we've got that short-term trend channel with a break in a new low and a higher low, so there may be some stops there still. So if we can get below this area, this mid-range, it's not mid-range, other mid-range of the bigger channel, then I think that's our way down then once we get below here. Let's see if this is it. That looks kind of an okay bar, I think. Not a massive fan of this stem, but I just don't like trading in that. But you see this pattern all the time. We are a short-term trend channel. We have a break, goes sideways, but with a slight downward thing, and it'll go sideways until we get a decent-looking signal bar, and then it'll just drop out the bottom. So I absolutely think it will come down. Whether it'll be this bar or not, I don't know. Yeah, this to me is looking, it's got bearish written all over it. This has, I trade a little bit of crypto, so it's a bear flag. Trying to go higher, but slipping. As I said, I preferred it to push up to this this top line really, and then drop and sit bearish below there, and that for me would be a good way in. I'm not trading this anyway. It's just not a massive fan of it. But once we get below these areas, I think it'll move a bit more, drop a bit more freely then. Okay, new high. Come on, down you come. This is the one. Come on. Once we get below here, I expect there's maybe still a few stops there from that lower high. Okay. So I think we'll move a bit freely now in this other leg. That one there. See, the trade itself looked okay. We got this little channel, we had a break and a new low, then we got a higher low, which looks nice. The only issue I have is we've been in a range, and the trouble is it could just be a failed breakout, which it might mean it just tries a couple of times to come down and then comes back in. So the trouble is, if you're going long there, you're going long into all this resistance. And it worked, but I've been in trades like that before, thinking, well, it's a good setup. We've got the short-term trend, so we've got a break, we've got a new low, so that's played out, and then we got a higher low. Great, and it's worked in that case. But there's such a lot of resistance around here where this price has been moving between these tops and bottoms, and yeah, we've had a little bit of an overshoot there, but sometimes that just creates a little bit of an overshoot here, and not just that. We came down and tried once, twice to go higher, so. I just thought it was a bit risky personally, and if I'd have lost that trade and I'd have posted it later, I'd have been ripped into arsehole. Then I'd been going, why the hell did you go long into all that resistance? So I tend to leave them now. It's just looking a bit risky to me, that. But, exactly my thinking, yeah. I mean, it worked, yeah, but the fact that it worked doesn't necessarily make it a good trade. I mean, the setup itself was okay. It was fine if we were in a general trade. If we were in a general trend, in my opinion, that'd be a bang on one. Short-term trend, we've got a break, new low. It's played out, push up higher, a nice bearish bar finishing. So that as a setup, great. But the trouble is, up until then, we've got all these highs, and it's not breaking price, and we've all heard the term most breakouts fail. Perhaps it's failing, but it's just taking a bit more time to fail. But unfortunately, well, under the circumstances there, it did work. But I'm trying to behave myself as nice as the setup looked. I just had to try and behave myself, because the trouble is, if you take it and it works, it sort of then gets you into thinking that, okay, well, next time it goes up there again, and I think you're going to get stung more times than you win there. So that's, you were not wrong. The critics would eat you out. Yeah, they would, wouldn't they? I'd get so much shit, wouldn't they? And rightly so. Yeah, if I took that long and it triggered me and came back down, I'd just, yeah. I'd be thrown to the wolves, wouldn't I? I don't mind, to be fair. I'd rather be, if I've done something stupid or I'm wrong, I'd rather someone tell me. It benefits me in the end. But you learn by getting into trades there, thinking, well, the setup looked right, but the bigger context. See, I think the trouble is with Panda Guy, trades like that, he'll probably trade that, but the bigger picture tells you that there's a lot of resistance there because of the range. But see what I mean about this pattern? Every time we see this push down and this slight bear flag, it always does the same, always. It sort of goes sideways but slightly down until it finds something which resembles a nice setup bar, which, in my opinion, was that one. It's the only time it really touched it and then dropped, but the fact that it pulled up a little bit, and it is a bit congested, but obviously it did come down and work. So maybe with experience, and you see that enough times, at some point you'll start to think, sod it, I'm just going to go short here. Yeah, see, I draw these trends, and Mac, was it mentioned earlier? Was it K said? Where was that? He said what did he say? We don't draw wide channels inside the range. Well, surely we do. I've always done it. Mac does it. I mean, it clearly plays a part, because every time it's gone up there, it's bounced off that line. So I don't know. Perhaps some people don't. I always do. I've just flicked it over a couple of Mac's videos, and on his range days he does as well. But I don't know, perhaps some people don't. But see what I mean about that? The bear flag, just the same as the opposite. And I sort of trade this a lot with and then up again. You see this all the time, and every time we see it, I mention it. Push up, as a bear flag, angling upwards, and the same down, push down, sideways but angling down until it just drops. Because I tend to avoid them, and I'll tell you why. I tend to avoid them because it's congested, but it is congested to the downside, and at some point congestion breaks, and because of the push down and that bear flag, generally most of the time it breaks to the obviously in a bear scenario, it breaks the downside. It's just picking that right bar. Now, you may have said that was a hidden second entry short. The trouble is, it is congested. You can't argue about that. But if that pushed up there and then came down and the top of that bar sat on there and that was bearish, then for me, I think that'd be a good setup. That, for me, was the only bar, in my opinion, that I thought might push down. And I did mention it, and it did. So it's identifying again and again, and sooner or later, when you see these patterns again and again, you start then thinking, the last 20 times I've seen that, it goes short. So I suppose things like that you develop. I suppose as a trader, the more experience you get, the more you see this, month after month, year after year. At some point, you're going to go, I know what's going on here. It looks like a wider down channel than this thing here. Well, what I will say about these, and I do sometimes put these channels in, and I do get some people saying it's not confirmed, but I suppose realistically, touched here, it sort of is really, isn't it? But it doesn't look great, does it? So what I will say is I'm happy to think we've got a short-term trend channel now. We've got a break. Some congestion, but to the downside, then I expect another leg out the bottom, almost like an opposite mirror image, which is what it's doing. So if you can get a setup here, trouble is that's about the best looking bar that's sort of pushed, close to the right to the EMA to encourage traders to get in. But I didn't like when it popped back up, because it's almost like there's a little bottom there. It touched a couple of times there, touch there, touch. It's almost like the bottom of a little range, a little bit of congestion. So it just made me nervous when it popped up. But if I was going to pick a bar there, obviously that would be the one. And it did work, this other leg. But I suppose the more you see these, the more you'll eventually start to trade them. If you can see a pattern that does the same every bloody time you see it, But I'm definitely getting more sensible, which is a little unnerving. I'm not the most sensible trader, but I suppose, when you've blown as many accounts as I do, at some point your brain starts to think, I just have to slow down here. As much as you bust in to get in on a trade, sometimes we just know the market's going higher, but if there's no setup, you do nothing, guarantees it always goes up. The second you decide to get in on something risky because you're sure it's going up, triggers you, stops you out, and then goes up. It almost knows where, I suppose, markets, whether you call them algos, they know where the inexperienced people take the trades, I suppose, and that may be part of it. So I don't know. Let's just adjust this so we know it's in the right place. There we go. Down the bottom, say there, and that. There. So yeah, look at that. It's worked down nice there. So it did exactly what we thought. Get rid. That little short-term trend, bit of a bear flag, short-term trend, like a little sloping flag, and then straight out the bottom. Where we thought it would come from, so somewhere around about there. I think that was the one I earmarked there. So if you draw that like that, works nice actually. Yeah, push down, bear flag, and a push down, strong down trend. Could take any good bar for key entry point. Yeah, certainly could. Obviously you want to try and get the best one you can, but that's the one I mentioned, the only one that's really touched it. But the fact that it pulled back up a little bit and sat on there where it's the bottom, and I trade every congestion. Yeah, I suppose it's, if you see it again and again, I suppose it's human nature, isn't it? And we're coming right back down to these bottoms. It's human nature. If you see these patterns, push down, congestion, push down, I suppose the more they work, you're naturally going to do them. So let's see what happens now then. I did everything wrong. Buy tops, sell highs of congestion, expecting a break. Don't be like me. We've all done it, mate. Don't worry about it. We've all done it. I've taken some bloody awful trades sometimes. And the thing is about my trades is everyone bloody sees them. So, we all do stupid things, but most of us are in the comforts of our own home with no one watching. But when you got, what have we got, 60 odd people on the stream watching me, make a right tit of myself. I've got to live that down. But I do find with streaming, it does keep me trading a little bit better. Sometimes when you're on your own and you're frustrated, it's very easy to jump in and use these buy and sell buttons, and we've all done them. and we've all traded silly contract sizes when we've been pissed off or something's not gone right. But the good thing about me streaming is it stops me doing that. I've blown one account live on the stream and one bit meltdown. I ended up moving me stopping it, but I've done it once in 5 months. Whereas I think I probably did it once a week before I was streaming. 15 days of doing good thing, 1 day of losing all. Mate, I'll tell you what, I had that first account I managed to get up $7,500. I had 18 green days, and I got to $7,500 in 18 days. That's 2 days off a month worth of green days. And then my mum passed away, and then I had 3 red days in a row around about the 300, and then I came back and had a couple of okay days, and for some reason I was just trading, I was snappy, I was in a good mood, and I ended up losing $2,300 in 1 day instead of just quitting at two losses. And as an inexperienced trader, that does you a lot of psychological damage, and I just never recovered. I probably went a little bit sideways for a bit and then had another big loss, and sometimes you've done that much damage to your account, you just can't recover, and it was just a spiral for me. And then I went probably 4 or 5 months without payment. Same again, blowing accounts, angry, frustrated. But lately I seem to be a little bit more sensible. I'm quite happy to sit here and talk through this lot and wait for a good set. I still have my moments where I take something a bit sort of impulsive, but for the most, I've found when I'm trading better, my trade amounts are less. So if I'm trading 1, 2 maximum a day, I tend to have more success. If I'm trading 3, 4 or 5, they just seem a little bit erratic. Streaming is good for that. I do things that I'm ashamed. Yeah, we all do, mate. I mean, we've all done really stupid things. I mean, someone said to me that if you go onto Rhythmic, you can set a maximum daily loss limit, and I did it for $600 once, and it went up, hit the $600, cancelled the trade, and the trade would have worked in the end. So I've stopped doing that. And it just takes a second to open up Rhythmic and cancel it. But I was chatting with Mark Whiting, who's the developer of the One Tick Trader. And I said to him, if you come up with a program that actually kicks you out of Ninja Trader for a period of maybe 12 hours where you can't quickly reset for that 12 hours, I think there'd be some interested in purchasing that bit of software. At least that way, if you hit 2 losing trades at whatever parameters you set, if you hit 2 losing trades, it doesn't let you enter another trade for 12 hours or 24 hours, or whatever you set. 12 hours is enough, because that'd see out the rest of the day. I said if he's aware of a piece of software like that, I don't know how Daryl Martin would feel about having a piece of software like that, because there'd be a lot less blown accounts. Okay, so we got this quite a tight channel with a little bit of a break. Second entry short there, but I don't take these unless they're close to the... yeah. And we're nearly at these lows anyway, aren't we? I don't know whether we're going to come down any lower. I think we're probably likely going to bounce off here again. I'll try and help this group to take all winning trades, but you need to learn. Okay, so... Sania, 1, where you're from, and 2, do you trade pats, and 3, how long you've been trading? Because if you are experienced, then we'll absolutely take your advice. Trouble is, sometimes you get experience, and I started getting experience with this one guy and realised he'd only been doing it 3 months. But you can phone your broker. Yeah, I've heard that, but the trouble is, if you're trading with an Apex funded account, you don't have a broker, do you? Apex is your broker, and I'm pretty sure if I phone Daryl Martin up and says, do us a favour, if I lose 2 trades, don't let me trade for 12 hours, I'm going to blow a lot less accounts. I can't see doing that myself. I have a lot of material I've developed. Calculation also based on WD GAN I'm not sure what that means, but there we go. Top Step Prop Firm has built into their eval now, where it will lock you out on one trade. Does it really? That's interesting. It'd be nice to say if the trouble is, what you don't want is if you've got a $500 max before it kicks you out of a trade, it might hit that $500 on a pullback, but it might go ahead. So I wouldn't want a fixed amount. What I would probably say is if I take 2 losing trades and I'm after the second loss, if I'm in the red by $500 and it doesn't let me trade for 2 hours. Okay, we've got a short-term trend channel here. We've got a break, 1 leg, 2 legs, possible second entry short. Never made a penny trading. He made his money from selling his system. Yeah, it does make you wonder sometimes, doesn't it? Okay, so there's 2 legs up there. Trouble is we are near these lows, and that is close enough to maybe think we may trap some shorts here and push higher. It is a lovely second entry if it finishes nice. It's 2 clear legs. Try and go once, try twice. 1K. Interesting. But I'm not going to take it. Something about it doesn't feel right. Many trading systems work at the end of the day. It's a game with yourself. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was a second entry there. I don't like that. Didn't quite get close to the EMA, and it is a little bit close to this bottom. No, don't want to sell anything. No, it's too close to that. I mean, that you could more or less say all bar hit the bottom by a tick or two. So it may, in fact, if that pushes up from there, it's going to trap some shorts, I'd say, because I'd say there's almost definitely some shorts there. So maybe this might be a failure. Trouble is, sometimes what will happen, and I've said this as well, I've took the failure, it breaks above here and then makes another nice bearish bar to go short. Don't sell at the bottom. No, I'm not, mate. If anything, I was thinking about going long there, because there's almost definitely going to be some shorts trapped there. Trouble is, I don't want to go long below the EMA. I think one of the biggest mental hurdles for traders is to let go, accepting that you don't need to take a trade every day. Yeah, I've got to find out. Sometimes I feel pressure to trade, but lately, over the last couple of 3 weeks maybe, I just sort of go with it and I don't try and fight it. Because if the market doesn't give you a setup, you can't magically produce one. And if you do, chances are it's a stupid, risky one and you're never going to make money. You have to just wait for setups. Sometimes it just takes you a long time to realise that. But I feel more relaxed. I used to get really nervous when I sat on the screen, but lately I feel more relaxed because I just think to myself, hey, I'm in control here. I don't need to take a trade. I don't have to. It's up to me. So I'm just wondering if there's a bigger channel there. There could be. Trouble is, we're near these lows. Like I couldn't go long there. The last thing I can do is go short here. It might push down to the bottoms. It may well, but it's clearly absolutely pay to wait. But sometimes patience is learnt, isn't it? Not everybody's got patience, but sometimes after getting battered left, right, and centre and chucking away loads of money, you sort of learn. But yeah, I mean, if we sit here all day and there's not a setup, as far as I'm concerned, I'll give myself a pat on the back that I've done my job. And I've sat here patiently and waited for a trade. If one doesn't happen, doesn't matter. I've still done my job. And it's, sometimes you're better off not taking a trade than taking a winner than a loss. Because, if you lose a trade, you've got to do another trade just to get back to break even. So sometimes you're better off just not taking a trade. It's my gift. You're naturally patient. I can be sometimes, but I've grown to be more patient because sometimes, some people who are patient, it just takes time to learn, doesn't it? But sometimes you've got to, I like to say sometimes you've got to bang your head against a wall enough times to realise that you bleed. So, yeah, sometimes patience. I think it's something you learn as a trader because you realise you have to do it. You know, it's weird when you're young and you're kids and your parents tell you not to do this or not to do that. You never seem to listen. But then when you get a bit older, you do seem to listen. But for some reason, trading seems to be an exemption to the rule. But even if you're adult, sometimes people can tell you till they're blue in the face and you still don't listen. Okay, so there was a failure there, which triggered. The reason it's pushed up a bit, because there's quite likely going to be some short stops there. I did consider putting an order above there, but I was worried that maybe it's going to push up a bit higher and give us a better setup to go lower. But there is a failure there, but it is a bit congested, which is why I never took it. But we call it the struggle, yeah. Got to say, some of the last 2 years, I felt probably some of the most miserable of my life. I felt down, physically sick, frustrated, angry. I've been through all sorts of emotions. But at the end of the day, if you want to earn the big money, you want to get a better lifestyle, you've got to put in the work and you've got to slowly train that brain to work. You know, if trading was easy, everyone would be doing it and making a fortune. And I kind of like the fact that it's tough because when I do get consistent and have, earn better money, have a better lifestyle, I'll realise that I've worked hard and earned it. I never went to university or anything like that, so I've never had a period of 3, 4 or 5 years where I've had to work hard towards something. And I kind of like the fact that trading's my chance to go back to university that I missed and do my hard work to earn my career. I have. It's all part of it, yeah. Everyone knows time demonstration. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely right, yeah. Yeah, I do wonder whether with trading, if you have a couple of weeks off trading and you come back after a 2-week break, that you were a little bit rusty, I wonder. It's for me, a guy sent me a message once. Martin, you might know him, Kay. Martin Keychak. I was really struggling maybe a few months ago and he sent me this message and it said, it seems that despite everything man hear or read and despite our best intentions, it's still necessary to experience moments of madness and impulsive trader to be finally forged into a great trader. I like that word, forged, because that's what it feels like to me. It's a process of manipulating your mind to, to be able to work, in this sort of area of life. Until you start trading, you never realise how little discipline. Absolutely, Edward, yeah, absolutely. If someone says you've got to sit there patiently and keep your discipline, you think, all right, I can do that. It ain't that easy, is it? Trading is a unique job, in my opinion. It's something that I've never experienced anything like it before. But I kind of like things that tough. If something scares me, or I have a fear of something, or I really want to do something, I have to just fight tooth and nail to do it. I can't shy away from it. It does look like we've had a couple of pushes up, and we may come a bit lower. There is a lower high there, but obviously you've got these lows there, but it does look like it may come a bit lower. There's maybe some longs there. I wouldn't be shocked if that just pop out the bottom, actually. I mean, there could be a second entry long there, but I get a feeling it may just drop for a bit. But no, I love it. I got to say, I mean, I work weekends as well just to get money coming in, but I do love working 3 hours a day. It's flipping great. Kids at school, wife's at work, there's just me and the dogs. It's just lovely. You have to fail. Oh, absolutely. I forget it was. Someone told me you learn way more from your failures than you do from your successes. Your failures always seem to come with a lesson. Like I've, going along there, I've done that in the past and failed at it and wondered what the hell happened. But, you start to learn, don't you? But your failures really are your biggest assets, aren't they? That's where you really learn to do the job. There is a second entry long there, so... but I have a feeling it should go up, but I just have a feeling we may get a bit lower than this. My missus is pregnant. Oh, good for you, mate. Hope it doesn't pop out the bottom. Pregnant. Good grief. Doesn't seem 5 minutes ago since my wife dropped. I got a 14-15-year-old coming on. Who can swear better than I can. Put it that way. Oh, they love you as babies, mate. As soon as they get into teenagers, they hate you. Okay, second entry long there. What's going to happen here? Yeah, good on you, mate. Good things to come. Great having little kids around. It's hard work. The first 3 months, I think, of my daughter was like a blur. You barely sleep. Being a dad is my favourite job. Yeah, same here. It is a great honour, isn't it, really? Because it's a big responsibility. But I've got to say, nothing, before I had a daughter, nothing really scared me. I was quite a brave guy. But when I had a daughter, wow. That was a chink in my armour. I turned into a gibbering mess sometimes. You think you love your mum or your wife or something. You wait till you have kids. You turn into a potential murderer. It's my second. Funny thing, you guys are actually the first people I've told. Oh, is it really? Well, there you go. There you go. We're privileged. I'm going to have a little single malt for you after this. That's my excuse to have a whiskey. Good for you, mate. Do you know what you're having yet or not? Or is it going to be a surprise? Okay, push down. Try go once, try go twice. See how this finishes. We could have a leg down, another leg down. I wouldn't be shocked if we reach these bottoms. Do you know what you're having, bud, dear? We found out we did. Some people said it's, leave it for a surprise. But to be fair, I found it was two surprises. It was a surprise when you got told what it is, and obviously when it's born, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's a surprise anyway. Second child is the true schedule destroyer. I've only had the one CISO, but it does feel like sometimes I got quadruplets. Getting to school in the morning. Oh, she's into skincare and makeup. Oh my God, it takes bloody hours in front of her. If her hair goes wrong, you cop it. You get shouted at. If her makeup doesn't go right, you get shouted at. It's funny. If it was a guy talking to me, so, I wouldn't hesitate to smack somebody, but your kids can speak to you like a piece of shit, and you just got to suck it up and get on with it. But yeah, it is good fun. It's all good fun, isn't it? You're better for having kids, I think. And I get it if some people don't want kids, you want your freedom and whatever. I get it, absolutely. It's a big responsibility, and it's scary having kids. But it is good fun as well, amongst the arguing and the shouting. Okay, so yeah, a couple of little pushes and another drop, and then off we went. My first is always Angel, but the second place. A lot of people say you'll always have a favourite, but only having one child, I've never experienced that. But I suppose it's natural. Some kids you may just get on. You probably love them both, but obviously some kids or different personalities, you're obviously going to get on better with some others. I suppose it goes without saying that it's probably going to be the same with your kids. But going to say the wife goes out the window though as soon as you have kids. It's like wife doesn't exist. It was just I love those first times I did. I'd put her in a pram. Walk into town, go and sit in Starbucks and show your kid off. I used to love it. I did. Going round, I know. it sounds soppy, but I used to like going around places like Mothercare and looking at prams and cots and all that sort of stuff. I loved all that. That's why if you have a daughter, you just throw her out. Trouble is, if you've got a lad, you've not got to worry as much, I don't think. But with a girl, I think there's more to worry about with girls, I think, isn't there? But what I will say is when I'm old and decrepit, I think daughters will tend to look after you and wipe your arse when you need it. But lads, you got your sons, they won't be interested. They'll just let you rot. But no, I like daughter. What's at 14? Yeah, maybe not 14. My daughter's 14, coming on 15, but growing up so quick. Yeah, they are. Yeah, have you noticed as well? Women come near you, don't they? That's why I go to Starbucks. You'll always have, some nice, pretty girl come up to you. Oh, isn't she lovely? Yeah, and you just start dribbling. Yeah, it's nice. It's the same daughter you call the twat. That wasn't me, was it? Was it me? No, it wasn't me. I hope it wasn't me. Did I leave my mic on? No, I don't think I call her that, I don't think. Unless you're talking about someone else, you might be. Oh no, she's called me a twat before. Yeah, she's called me some flipping odd things. Hey. You're off, are you? Take it easy, pal. Have a good one. Yeah, I'm probably nearly done, actually. It's a funny old day, isn't it, today? It's definitely a range day, no argument there. But relatively okay to read, at least this first part. It was, it's in those highs and lows pretty well. They come up to you. You can see, yeah. Oh, well, my daughter had really long hair when she was born. Her hair was 2 inches when she was born. She had a massive mop of hair. And you're out with your wife and your daughter, and I used to get people coming up and saying, "Oh, isn't she gorgeous? Doesn't she look like her dad?" My wife used to hate that. Yeah, I have said to my daughter, Edward, actually. No, I've said to my wife, not in front of my daughter, but oh my God, I'll feel sorry for the guy she's never met yet. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It is funny. No, I do like having kids. It is hard work, and it's emotional drain as well, but my gosh. Never taken to golf. I had a go at it once, but for me, it's just about hitting the ball as hard as I can. So, this obviously then is a bit of a fail breakout. Let's see what we come up to here. There's quite a bearish bar there, but trouble is sometimes we get part of the way through the day, and if I'm down, sometimes I can be guilty of taking something a bit of a poor trade, but I'm up actually, so I'm not in a rush to take anything, to be honest with you. Cam, was your downfall? Yeah, it was. Yeah, golf's a tough game, isn't it? It looks easy. It's just a matter of swinging a stick in it. It looks easy. In fact, I had someone give me some golf clubs, and I was playing in the garden, actually. I'd never really played much golf before. I used to go with a few mates now and again after we've had a session and a bunch of beers. We go for a fried breakfast and a game of golf, actually. And we'd recently laid some turf in our garden, so we got nice new grass, and I was videoing me swing just to see what it was like, and I took a chunk out of it. And my wife screamed at me out the window. Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'm trading one contract on two of them and two contracts on one. And the one PA is just under $2,000 now. So that one should get to where it needs to be. I probably might ride that up to $5,000 actually, and then take a payment, and then get a few more. But things are going okay at the moment. I feel like in a good place. I feel like I've found me patience. I'm getting better trades. For some reason, I used to get sucked into some poor trades. You know, you just get that so eager to make money and get in there and get a trade, and after a while you realise it doesn't work that way. You can't will a trade. How many days are you in? 9 days or 10 days? No, 10 days. 10 days, I think, something like that. Something like that. But yeah, the one's obviously double the rest of them. But I'm probably going to take that one up to $5,000, and then I'm going to take a $2,000 payment, and then I'm probably going to pick up. I did pick up another couple of evaluations at 80% off at the moment, so I picked up 2 yesterday, so that'll give me a total of 5. So by the time they mature, I'm trading those at 2 contract. By the time they hit the $3,000, I should be at $5,000. So I can take a payment then, and then those 2 should go on to PA, so I'll have 5 then, and then what I might do is get a few more. Ideally, I'm aiming to get to about 10, and if I can trade 2 contracts on 2 of them and 1 contract on the remaining 8, even if I can aim for around about $100 a day on average, it's $1,000 a day really, isn't it? So $100, just 2 points isn't a huge amount, is it? It's not a massive sort of target to hit really. 2 points a day, that's it. Most days we'll get that okay. I got 2 points earlier. I had a knock at the door and a parcel I had to sign for, but the plan was to get it up here and I would have got me 4 points, but I ended up just taking 2, but that's okay. What time is it? 1:45. I'm probably going to knock it on the head there, guys, I think. I'm happy with what I got today. $400 over the 2 accounts, plus another $400 over the 2 evaluations. So, all's good. It's been an okay day. I got in nice and early, got into a failed second entry short, which worked really nice. So, happy days. I like getting in early if you can. It just takes the pressure off the rest of the day, then you're not in a rush. So, not a terrible day today. The market is moving. We have had our areas of congestion, little bits, but it's not been too bad. There's not been a huge amount of setups, but it is what it is, isn't it? So there you go. So that's me for another day. It is Friday tomorrow, last day of the week. Weeks are flying. It's getting warmer. It won't be long before summer's on its way and Christmas will be here again. So there you go. So that's me. 1 trade today, 1 trade, 2 points. Happy days. So I hope you've had a good day. I hope you've got some points under your belt. I appreciate all your comments. Don't forget, we've got about 3 or 4 days left on this 80% off before it goes back up to 50%. So we've got tomorrow, and I believe it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let me have a look. Finishes the end of the month, yeah. So we got tomorrow, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So as usual, that's my code down there. If you do use that, or you have used that, it is appreciated. What I work weekends and the bit I get from that enables me to trade full time. So it's there if you want it anyway. So happy days. So there you go. So have a great evening. If you carry on trading, good luck. And I will catch up with you all again tomorrow. We'll do it all again. Hopefully have another successful day. So take it easy, stay safe, and I'll catch up with everyone.